Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the Mahindra Thar, but this is the soft top convertible and this is the diesel automatic. Straight away we are going to be opening the engine bay, which means I need to open it from here. Yeah, retro elements, really very nice, and there opens the engine bay. My goodness, it is very heavy. Okay, there is no insulation there, but the motor is very smooth, very refined, and of course you can see the motor is moving a bit. Let me put this down. Okay, now okay, I need both hands to do this. I need both hands to do a lot of things. That's the reason why Nurain is going to help us today. Nurain, please remove the roof of this car so that we can see the convertibleness of this vehicle. It's very easy actually, just a little time consuming. You're starting from the wrong side. You're supposed to start from the left, Nurain, from the left side. Yeah, that is the side you start from. You remove the Velcro first. Yep, quite easy. Take the zip and pull it back all the way. I mean, removing it is easier than putting it back. Putting it back makes, I mean, you have to make sure that you're doing it right completely. And yeah, just slot it in, pull it out, just put some effort. Yeah, there it is. It's out already. And I just put it inside here. I've already removed it on the other side just to make it easier. You need to get inside, Nurain, inside the car from this side. I don't know which side she's getting in from. I think I'll have to give her a helping hand today for sure. Turning off the air conditioning, making a lot of noise. Open it from there. Here is very easy. There I've opened it. And there she's also opened it completely, and then you just push it back all the way, and yeah, now up to you completely. Make sure it's done and dusted properly. So yeah, she's going to take some effort to do it. Okay, chill, relax. It's easy. Just push it smooth and steady, and there it is. We have made it a convertible. Okay, now this is a soft top. Here it's down. Actually, you can remove this part also, which is quite nice. It looks very nice with the roof down, of course. It's not a complete convertible as such, because a complete convertible, of course, I mean, yeah, the door is also frameless or something of that sort. But look at the car. It looks mind-boggling with the roof down, of course. And the only problem is if it rains, it's going to take you some time to put it up. It's a little bit more difficult to put the roof up as much as it is to put it down, because obviously you have to make sure you have slotted things in proper position. You know what? I'll tell you a secret. I'm sorry, all Thar convertible owners. The thing is, anybody can open the roof, so don't keep valuables on the inside. I mean, at least anybody can open this thing, and then if they open this thing, they can open that thing also. It's easy to get in from here. I mean, I can jump in from here. So that's how it is. After the zip, you have to just slot it inside this mechanism, but makes a lot of noise. Coming to the design of the Thar, this is of course a mini Jeep Wrangler, and this particular car has some accessories on it. So you see this chrome finish around the headlights. The headlights don't get LEDs, which is very disappointing. Okay, halogen bulbs, halogen fog lamps, plastic bumper, Thar written there. Okay, the only thing which is different from a Jeep Wrangler is the grille, so that, you know, they don't sue them. But still, it actually looks quite nice, has an identity of its own. It's quite wide as such, and compared to the old Thar, this is absolutely mind-blowing. The tires are really very wide. These are 18 inches, 255 is the size of the tire. Pretty wide, like the alloy wheels. It says Thar almost everywhere, right from the alloy wheel to the fender and you name it. Thar is written almost everywhere. It says 4x4, and of course at the rear, again, looks pretty nice. The good thing is that this thing blinks when you unlock the car. Pretty cool stuff, huh? However, this is the automatic, that's why it says automatic right there. Let's open the boot of the vehicle, and there you see, boot is really Chintu Mintu, and there's a lot of things inside this car which is actually Chintu Mintu, but they've given a handle so that people from inside can also open it. I can increase the boot carrying capacity by actually reclining the seat like this. Yeah, I can, but not really very useful as such. I'm just going to close this for a moment. There it shuts. Now the good thing is that it's got rear parking sensors, but it doesn't have a reverse parking camera, which is shocking and sad as well. Getting in is kind of easy. I'll tell you why. First and foremost, you can see the space from here. I'm going to put this back into place, and you see it's upright. That one is reclined. So that's the difference. Actually, space inside is decent. At the rear, you can actually sit in comfortably. Even if you're tall, only thing is for real tall passengers, under support is an issue, but legroom and knee room is not a problem. Only thing is when you push the seat ahead, the rail will come in between in terms of legroom. However, knee room is also good. Headroom is mind-blowingly phenomenal. With the roof down, of course, even with the roof up, headroom is not an issue at all. Okay, I'm just going to push this. It's easy to get in and out if you push the seat like this all the way ahead. The only thing is you have to take care because your head might hit, you have to bend and all. So it's not really the easiest as such, and Mahindra could have done a way better job by offering some cup holders here and charging options as well, but the rear seat experience is okay. I mean, space wise it's okay for adults, but could have been better still. Anyways, door pockets are decent size. This is the smallest glove box I've seen in my life. It's so Chintu Mintu, but it's lockable. I don't know why. Mahindra and Mahindra model Thar, all this is also written here. Nice, proud achievement, of course. And obviously power window controls are not here, Thar is written again. You know why? Because the doors can be removed. That's also a pretty nice thing. Okay, you've got these exposed hinges. This is the antenna. The antenna is so short now you can't see it from the inside. I was telling you, you know what, the antenna is missing on this car, but it's not. Radio reception is fine completely, and it says M-Hawk 130 here, of course, because this is a diesel. You can hear it a bit as well. Now I can easily climb in from here. Yep. And you can actually sit here. You can sit wherever you feel like. That's actually a good thing. And you see the dashboard design of the car. The dashboard actually looks quite nice and is very rugged as well. But you know what, this car could have done with a lot more features. Although, you know what, when Mahindra first launched the Thar, I was like, loaded with plenty of equipment compared to the older Thar. But you have to actually unlock it with the key. No keyless entry, no push button start, none of that. And some ergonomic flaws as well inside this vehicle. Now it's a proper climb, but there is a side footstep, which is a good thing. And the door pockets also big enough. These are the controls for the outside rear view mirror adjustment, and exposed screws look pretty nice as well. No dead pedal, shocking omission, speaker of course, and all across the car they have put so much branding. It's absolutely insane, to be honest. Okay, check this out. There you see, there is the Thar along with two camels. That's also pretty neat. And wherever I go, I can find something or the other. In fact, here you see, yep, they have done it on that speaker too. So yeah, the interior actually, like I was telling you, feels nice. However, it could have been a little bit more special. Quality levels are decent, not fantastic, but then that's what you would expect from a car which is aimed more towards utility and off-road. And obviously you can hose down the cabin because things are a little water resistant on the inside. The seat is comfortable, but not for people who are on the heavier side. It's kind of unfortunate, which means that you have to hit the gym frequently. Although driving the new Thar is no longer about hitting the gym because it's so easy to drive. Okay, the dashboard is really very wide. There is a handle to hold on to here as well. No auto dimming inside rear view mirror. There's no mirror here. There's a mirror on this side, of course. There's a handle there. There's no handle here. And of course, you get a massive headroom at the front too. So that is not an issue. Audio controls on the steering wheel, cruise control, and here you see air conditioning controls. A lot of buttons, 2 USB slots, and there's a 12-volt charging socket. There's storage space here. This is the gear lever for the 4-wheel drive system, and there are twin cup holders, coin holder, power window controls, handbrake. The only issue is that I think storage space is actually not that great on the inside because there's not much space to keep stuff. Honestly, you need even more space, and somebody's gone crazy honking right now. Steering kind of feels like the TUV, and AC vents do not close, which is kind of again disappointing. This is a 7-inch screen. Okay, it's a 7-inch screen. It's nice. It has plenty of information on offer as well. Specifically speaking, adventure statistics is super duper cool. But you know what is the problem here? The only okay, you can see so much information is on offer. The only problem which I find is that sometimes the Bluetooth system does not work. It does not detect if there's any phone or not. So then you have to turn off the car, turn it back on, and then only start detecting. So there's a glitch with the Bluetooth system which is not so fluid. And then you obviously have tire pressure monitoring system, connected car, tech push alerts and whatnot. With BlueSense app, a lot of things work too. So this is actually very nice, but a reverse parking camera was the need of the hour. This instrument cluster is also pretty nice, and there's a lot of information. Only thing is you have to go here to operate it. So here, distance to empty and all. I mean, you have seen all this information in so many videos because the new Thar has been reviewed a million times by me already. Here, I turn this off, and then when you turn it on now, it actually does a full swipe up. Then you see the Thar in a desert. That also looks quite cool. Overall cabin quality is filled with a lot of hard plastic, but that's actually a good thing without a doubt. And then Nurain is actually walking. You want to lift or something? You want to sit inside the car? You can. I mean, there's no stress. Come sit, come sit. Okay, we turn on the air conditioning for a bit. I'm going to pretend to turn on the air conditioning for a bit. Audio quality is so, not that great, obviously, because the speakers kind of suck. But then that is kind of expected now because speakers are placed here. Yeah, the speakers are placed here. There's a light placement here, I think, because Nurain is so irked out right now because of the heat and she doesn't really enjoy convertible cars. It's time we start driving. If you look into the air conditioning, the air conditioning will not improve its air throw. It's still going to take its own sweet time to cool the cabin, and on that disappointment, well, let's start driving. Alright, we are all set to go, which means turning off the air conditioning. Let's get into the adventure statistics, which is on road. Handbrake down, car into drive, into manual mode as well. And we are actually going to change stuff here on the instrument cluster's multi-information display because I want you to see the steering position here. We are into steering position as well. Left foot on the brake, traction control off to right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor, rev still 2000, off we go. Plenty of wheel spin on offer. it will not upshift unless and until I decide to do so. That's almost 5000 RPM. You can see it takes a few years for the gear shift to happen as such. But this manual mode is only there in first two gears, okay? Now we are into third and manual mode is completely disabled. Now I have to shout because you're going to hear a lot of the outside noise and you can hear the camera is vibrating a lot. That's a problem with the Thar. It has vertical movement almost all the time because it's a body on frame platform. The ladder frame results in all this and you can hear a lot of outside noise because this is obviously the soft top version, which makes sure that everybody can be heard on the inside, and if you're having a conversation loud on the inside, people can hear that as well. And obviously if you're hearing music, people can hear that too. Now you see there are a lot of vibrations as such, but the motor is super duper refined, super silent as well. I love how the engine is so refined. This is the M-Hawk 130 because, like you guessed it right, it is 130 PS of power, which comes in at 3750 RPM, and the torque output happens to be 300 Newton meters, which actually comes in at a rather low 1600 RPM and stays there till 2800 RPM, giving it a fantastic mid-range punch. In fact, drivability is very, very, very good. It's got good low-end punch, it's got good mid-range as well, and after 3700 RPM, it kind of dies out, so there is no top-end grunt in this car at all, and because the cameras would have to stop. Alright guys, listen to this. Oh, nothing happened. That was so disappointing. Motor gets very vocal in the higher end of the rev range, and Noreen was wondering if the air conditioning is on because there's so much noise which is coming in. Actually, the motor is very refined, but you know, because of the soft top, you can hear a lot of the road noise, the wind noise, the tire noise, and even the engine noise for that matter. But otherwise, this engine is very smooth, very refined, very punchy as well. What is sluggish is the 6-speed Aisin-Source torque converter gearbox, which is not the fastest with shifts, but because there's so much torque on offer now, it's somehow able to mask the sluggishness of this gearbox. So yeah, shift quality is fine. It's actually smooth. It's refined. Again, refinement and smoothness of the Thar is unbelievable. Compared to the old model, not even the same in any aspect because this is all new. This is a new chassis, which is the hydro-formed one, the third generation chassis, which is also shared with the Scorpio and the TUV 300, which by the way now is known as the Bolero Neo. It's like me getting a haircut and being called Jeremy Clarkson. Doesn't make any sense. However, right now, when you see that, you get a good view of what's around. You can see the hood of the vehicle. The car is wide and of course has a lot of road presence. In spite of almost 10 months since launch, still people turn around to see the Thar. That is a level of road presence. Now the top speed happens to be 160 kilometers per hour, but you can't drive this car more than 100 kilometers per hour. Why? Okay, check this out. Okay, I'm going to take it above 100 kilometers per hour. Come on, come on, come on. You can hear so much flapping of the roof. Yeah, so much wind noise everywhere. You just cannot drive this car beyond a certain speed, which is I think 100 kilometers per hour, and that's actually good for fuel economy as well. Only the soft top version, obviously, because the hard top is so much better. It also gets noisy, but it is so much better than the soft top. The soft top is just too freaking noisy. I would say avoid the soft top. Just get the hard top because it's weatherproof, of course, and then you know, you really don't enjoy putting the roof down and driving. Because most of the time, 95% of the time, you're going to have the roof up and drive, and then it becomes very, 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 very noisy. You have to listen to music really loud, and the audio system is not that great either. So that is a bit of a problem with the soft top and makes so much noise. It's like a self-imposed speed limit you put on yourself of 80 kilometers per hour just to ensure that, you know what, you can at least drive in your senses. Otherwise, there's so much noise now, it kind of puts your headache into your head. Of course, headache is put in the head only. Fast headache cannot be put in the stomach. That's called a stomach ache. But driving this car in the city is so freaking easy. In spite of the size, in spite of the fact that it gets a hydraulic steering wheel, it's such a easy steering wheel to twirl because it's super duper light. But you know what? Unfortunately, it's not very gradual in terms of the turns, and it has too many locks as well. It kind of locks 3.5 times. That's the reason why sometimes you overlock it and underlock it, and then you don't get really comfortable with the steering wheel. Although it's obnoxiously light for a hydraulic steering wheel. Feel and feedback, okay. Car inspires high-speed stability, not really, because it doesn't even reach high speed, so you don't have to worry about that at all. Get into the gas. Response is good from this engine. I love this engine. I think it has a lot of oomph, but it's not as frugal as the manual. The automatic does sip at least 2 kilometers per liter more fuel from this 57-liter fuel tank. Another weird thing is that the traction control automatically turns on after I think 60 kilometers per hour. I don't know why do I have a traction control button. If you want to keep it on, just keep it on. Why even want me to intervene and press a button? Just remove that button. Better ergonomics, not a problem at all. Okay, now the ride is always very busy. You can see the vertical movement is always there. The vertical movement is such the camera keeps moving all the time, and most of the time this camera actually shuts itself. I'm using such words because I know the camera is not recording anymore because it must have shut itself because the vibrations are so much. I've always faced a tough task driving the Thar and vlogging because it keeps moving, man. So the fuel efficiency you can actually expect from this car is between 8 to 12 kilometers per liter, again depending on your driving style. You know, in spite of driving under 100 kilometers per hour all the time because of this flapping of the roof, still fuel economy is poor because this has the aerodynamics of a refrigerator. You have to really push across the wind to go further, and the tires are also very wide, very grippy as such, and obviously it's very capable of the road as well. Naturally it has to be because it has got 4-wheel drive and it has got a low ratio transfer case as well, and then you know it has got all the hardware you would ever need. In fact, compared to the old Thar, it's better in almost everywhere except the approach angle, and the approach angle is slightly lesser than the older Thar because of pedestrian safety norms. And talking about safety, this car has actually got a 4-star NCAP rating from Global NCAP, of course. So yeah, it's safe also, but Mahindra did a trick there. You know what Global NCAP does? It picks the lowest variant of the car and then puts it through its safety test. What Mahindra did was it discontinued its 6-seater version of the Thar so that Global NCAP does not pick it up. And that 6-seater version does not have rear seat belts. So only 2 seat belts in a 6-seater car. Well, you know what the safety is like. So when the test happened, it got 4-star, and maybe Mahindra might just get that variant back because the safety test is already done. Now I'm just making a guess here. That might not really happen. Now there are 10 variants of the Thar. Obviously variants have been revised since launch. Now you do not have the soft top anymore. Now the soft top is only default the convertible version, and out of those 10 variants, 3 are for the AX, which is the adventure version, which is the lower variant, and the LX, which has 7 variants on offer, is available in both hard and soft top, along with both manual as well as automatic gearbox options, again both in petrol as well as diesel options. Meanwhile the AX is only available in manual option. Now the good thing is that LX has everything you would need, so there's not much difference in terms of the variant lineup as such, even though there's 7 variants of the LX on offer, because you know, petrol automatic, petrol manual, diesel automatic, diesel manual, hard top, soft top convertible. Between these only things keep changing, resulting in 10 variants of the Thar on offer right now. And considering that this car can't really be driven above 100 kilometers per hour, I have an idea for you, Mahindra. Just give us a 1.5 liter M-Hawk diesel engine in this car, 3-cylinder, lower price with a soft top. Anyways, I'm not going to drive above 100. I cannot do it because the soft top does not make the car feel comfortable at all above 100 kilometers per hour. Now 0 to 100 kilometers per hour actually takes 13.5 seconds for the diesel automatic, which is okay, we're stuck in traffic, which is decently quick because the manual also takes similar time. It's actually slower, the automatic, by 0.3 of a second, which is not much to be honest. So yeah, decently quick for an automatic, which is not the fastest. Meanwhile, the petrol is actually, hold your breath, almost 3 seconds, no, not almost, more than 3 seconds faster to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. That engine is an absolute ballistic missile for a car which weighs 1800 kgs. However, there's a problem. The petrol drinks fuel like nobody's business. It drinks fuel like a V6 engine, although it's just a 4-cylinder motor, but still a great engine, the M Stallion, with 150 horsepower, giving the Thar enough grunt. But you don't need that grunt, do you? No, you do not, because this is not a car you like to drive fast. This is a car you like to drive slow and enjoy the scenery, enjoy people staring at you, realizing, look at this dude, he likes to make a statement by compromising the practicality in his life. But hey, it's not my first car, it's not going to be my first car. That's what Thar owners actually say, because this has to be your second, third, fourth or fifth car. You can't drive this daily because of the ride quality and of course the lack of space in the rear seat and the boot as well, and difficulty in getting inside at the rear. But they're still giving it ISOFIX child seat mounts because hey, they can, why not? Okay, anyways, handling is okay, not that great, much better than the older Thar. But you know what is the problem? The steering is not very consistent as such, and there's a lot of body roll as well, and the brakes, they were better on the manual for sure. The automatic has a bit grabby brakes, lacks initial bite, and obviously because of the soft suspension, there is nosedive under heavy braking, considerable nosedive of course. But then Mahindra's given it a lot of safety tech. There is ABS, which is obviously mandatory. There is ESP as well, traction control, which we try to turn off and it keeps turning on itself. And then there's hill hold assist, there's hill decline assist, and all these things as well, just to make sure that when you go off the road, it's quite comfortable, because LX means leisure, luxury, lifestyle. I don't know, choose your adjective. Okay, here I'm stopping. You see, nose dive is there, and there it lifts from there. So nose dive is definitely there. The Mahindra Thar is actually priced from 15.38 lakhs, the base price of the base variant, which happens to be the petrol manual, and goes all the way till 18.42 lakhs for the top end diesel automatic LX trim. Meanwhile, the car I'm driving right now is priced at 18.26 lakhs. All the prices are obviously on road Mumbai. For 16,000 rupees extra, what do you get? Of course, you get a hard top and a rear windscreen with a defogger, which is not there in this car because it's a soft top, so it gets a, I think, cloth or plastic, whatever, rear windscreen. It's not a windscreen, it's just like a whatever. The problem is that there is zero visibility visibility when it rains. You can't see anything behind, and plus, you know, the spare wheel also intrudes in rear visibility. So rear visibility is not a bit, it's quite a bit of a problem in this car, especially during the monsoon. But hey, you're not going to complain. Now I'll tell you what, you pay 1.67 lakhs more for the automatic when compared to the manual, and I would say the automatic is way better in terms of giving you an easier drive experience of the Thar. But get the manual, because the feel of driving a manual is just something else, plus it's more efficient and it's cheaper as well. Save that 1.67 lakh rupees, probably put the things which Mahindra failed to do, so like a rear parking camera and maybe armrest at the rear, and if you're so enthusiastic, maybe change the lights and change the grille, and you can do all that in that remaining money and still change your own gears and make your own body muscle as well. So guys, this is my vlog of the Mahindra Thar. To sum it up, I would say it's an extremely desirable vehicle, but the desirability has started to come at a price because Mahindra is continuously hiking the price of the vehicle. You know what? Third price hike has already happened. The latest one up to rupees 92,000 more. Yeah, that's right. That's a lot of increase for a car, which is the same as before. Usually people hike prices by 92,000 when they give it the next generation, let alone a facelift. I mean, they don't even do it on a facelift. They do it for the next generation. Here, nothing has changed, but they're charging almost up to 92,000 more for certain variants, which is a bit too steep of a price hike, and the Thar has kind of lost its, you know, value for money quotient. Well, it had to happen because the demand is so much, everybody wants to be seen in one, and because of this, well, the prices are going northwards, and that kind of robbed the value for money quotient as well completely. Camera is moving so much. This is a car I really enjoy driving because I can do it calmly, but I hate vlogging on it because the camera is all over the place. And on that disappointment, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give the thumbs up. That's the like button. My sauna is over. Bye bye. पसीना आ गया इतना आज, पता नहीं कैसे हुआ.